What if you could take any image, even something hundreds of years old, and make a 3D mug out of it? Hey Studio Pals, welcome back to the channel. I have another interesting laser engraving slash 3D printing with ceramics. And this is more along the lines of exclusively 3D printing. Now we all know that you can use a 3D printer for many different things, but I've had people say that, oh no, a fiber or filament based 3D printer, your standard 3D printer, as opposed to a emulsion or liquid 3D printer, it's just not detailed enough to use for intricate ceramic pressings and things of that nature. Well, the new 3D printers, and mine's not even that new, it's actually a Creality Ender 3 version 3 SE. And it has outperformed itself. The thing I needed a 3D printer for was exclusively making parts. Parts for the laser engravers, parts for the fans, parts for parts that put parts into, pottery parts, rollers, extruders, things of that nature. Functional things that I'm going to be using a 3D printer for. So we wanted to do a specific esoteric type of pressing. It's the three hairs with their ears interlocked. We wanted to do that one because everybody seems to have that one as a mug, and I wanted one too. So I found a really good version of it, and I want to take it online and convert it into a 3D STL file, 3D print it, and then make a clay pressing out of it and make a master mold out of it that I can keep using for mugs. So let's do that right now. Okay, so the first place we went was Magic 3D in order to generate a three-dimensional image from a picture through AI, and it does a really good job. The problem is with most of these things, this one has a paywall, which means I won't be able to download this. So try as you might, you'll sit and stare at it, but you can't download it unless you pay. So we've tried other options, and this option is Meshy. Meshy has a free option, but it's using only Meshy 5, and this is what it looks like from the picture that you upload. So yeah, that's just kind of impressionistic art. Here is their Meshy 6 version, and it looks fantastic. So unfortunately, you'll probably have to pay. Once you get your three-dimensional STL file in place, I bring it into Orca Slicer here, and you'll see the bottom of this one has all of these weird bumps and nodules on it, so I'm going to cut that and just slice it using the cut function. I'll get right to the very edge of it right here to where it just starts getting flat like that, and then I'll just hit slice or cut. And then what you do is you just move it. Well, if I can remember how, you ungroup it. And just select it, and now you just move the sliced version off of the normal version and delete it. Now it'll need to go back down to the surface, so you'll have to select alignment, auto align, which is up here at the top menu. Looks like an A with a little sideways looking thing. Now after it's aligned, I'm going to go ahead and just check my size here. I know that I wanted it 4 inches, and it's about 98, almost 100 millimeters, which is close enough. Now I'm going to go over to the side here, and it says 0.12 millimeters is the finest, but you can actually tweak it and say no it isn't, 0.0, let's say 9. And it'll actually do that. You see where it changes orange because it's like yelling at you like, no, it can't, but it will. And then I'm going to go to strength, and I'm going to make this 100%, not 15, because we don't want any, well, we want it to be solid, basically. So it's going to be completely solid, and I want that to be rectilinear, which is just the way the head's going to move and print it. come up and say slice the plate. We'll slice it, and it looks pretty detailed. I'm going to go ahead and scrub down to watch it generate and to make sure there aren't any weird things. There's a couple of weird little orange spots there, but I don't think they're going to be a problem. And as we scroll up, it looks fine. So we need this into our 3D printer. I'm going to go ahead and select this arrow and say generate G-code, and we're ready to go. Well, I think that came out looking fantastic. There are a few raised lines, but considering that the worst type of 3D printing is at the very top, these contours and muscles of these rabbits and everything, they came out really, really good. I'm going to glue it onto this board because it makes it easier to press the porcelain over the top of it rather than, have the clay grab it and try to remove it from the clay. I'd rather remove the clay from it and the board, if you know what I mean. I've got WD-40 here. That's my go-to. I usually use that instead of any other kind of oil. I'm going to take some of this clay, which is a Cone 6 porcelain. I've got quite a bit of it left from just an old distributor. So I'm going to take just a little chunk of it. I'm going to make this actually kind of thick because the profile of these rabbits is actually quite deep. So I want to make sure that it works properly. Or, I don't have any problems. Here's my little brush. I'm going to go ahead and spray the surface of it with a little WD-40, and I just, brush it around into all of the nooks and crannies. Make sure that the board is nice and level so that it doesn't rock too much, and then I'm just going to put this clay over the top of it and start pressing. I want to make sure and get as evenly and as deep as I can. So after working at it for quite some time, I'll go ahead and start lifting up the edge really carefully and make sure that the clay wants to give away. And that just released right off. And I'm thinking that is absolutely fantastic. It came out really well. I'm going to show you guys here just a second here. Yeah, the ears, the feet, pretty much everything that could possibly go right. I just did a really quick biscuit fire. This was the thing I was worried about because this is a mold, and I had to fix this crack. It's still kind of there a little bit, but not really. I think that's going to work for a mold as long as I don't whack it. It's the 3 hairs.